Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests and participants, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me here. I feel very honored, and I hope that my presentation will bring more clarities regarding the DRS model. Before giving the presentation, it will be good to make a short presentation of myself and justify my presence here. I'm specialized in sustainability and circular economy, competitive strategies and business model innovation. I'm acting as a senior consultant for various national, multinational companies, producers, importers, retailers, and also packaging recovery organization across Europe. I have worked on elaboration of feasibility study for the positive font system for one-way beverage packaging in Romania. So I know very well both model, packaging recovery organization, and DRS from designing, implementing, and functionality. My presentation, in the little time you have given me, in my presentation I will focus on the drivers and the barriers related to DRS implementation, magnitude of the model, the impacted stakeholders, and example of cost, followed by some conclusion and recommendation. Some European countries are currently contemplating introducing the DRS for one-way packaging due to single-use directive requirements. But this doesn't mean that DRS operates efficiently in all European countries. And this is why most European countries with a functional and performant PRO focus on improving the current collection model instead of implementing DRS. Any political decision regarding DRS implementation should have a proper approach. First, you should identify the real driver determining DRS implementation through qualitative and quantitative studies, and to develop multiple scenarios for a period of time. Why do we need such a model? Aren't there other alternatives? Can we improve the current alternatives? Second, you should understand the real dimension of the complexity of DRS and direct and indirect implication on the entire value chain. Third, you should identify the real cost, including the hidden cost, and the real benefits of a DRS, evaluating the impact on each stakeholder. Such stage require feasibility studies, and these studies should be made available in a public and transparent manner. Finally, you should consider the critical aspects of designing and implementing DRS from an integrated perspective: legal, strategic, financial, and operational perspective. Only with such approach, policymakers, industry decision makers can successfully address DRS in Slovenia. Why Romania adopted DRS? Maybe you ask me. I'm answering to you because of the following drivers: lack of selective collection infrastructure. Only 30% of the cities they have a proper selective collection for packaging. Poor performance in plastic recycling collection, which is quite normal due to such poor infrastructure, and false reporting of some waste collector and PRO with a high impact on collection credibility. And that was enough. But DRS implementation decision in Romania took a lot of time and required a lot of analysis and studies. Romania needed almost 6 years to transform an idea into a reality, analyzing all the drivers, DRS drivers and selective collection drivers, and building different scenarios, including or excluding DRS. Slovenia should analyze carefully such attempt and have a proper approach regarding DRS implementation. The magnitude. Let's talk a little bit about the magnitude of the DRS. DRS require a new collection infrastructure, totalmente different from the current collection infrastructure. Consequences: high initial investments that retailers should make in buying RVMs, producers investing in counting center, efficiency reduction of the current local sanitation services, and price increase of the products. Regarding DRS scope and product category limitation, implementation of DRS will generate some packaging substitutions, changing in consumer buying behavior, market distortion, and will increase the complexity in reporting data due to existence of two models, DRS and PRO. What about monthly operational cost of a DRS? It's totally wrong to focus only in DRS investment and to think that putting an RVM in a store in a large city have solved the functionality of DRS. The operational cost must be the main concern of industry decision makers and policymakers, and that because this is the highest cost of the model and come with the various hidden costs. Just mention some of them: packaging relabeling, EAN code changes or supracharges, IT infrastructure changes, cash flow impact, and inventory management hidden costs. But also implementing DRS require a major change in the legal framework of packaging and packaging waste. It requires to develop such a new legal framework requires a minimum of 2 years. DRS stakeholders own the collected material through DRS. So, considering the monopoly position of DRS and the recent vertical integration of some DRS shareholders, the legislation must maintain a correct level playing field in the recycling market. Not all stakeholders involved in DRS have recycling legal obligation, but each financial and operational impacted stakeholder must be involved in data analysis and scenario building. In Romania, lack of transparency led to 2 years implementation delay due to unpredictable reaction of some stakeholders who are not properly informed. For a better identification of the operational and financial impact of the DRS, you must consider the specific DRS factor. Several stakeholders will be more impacted, others less. Some of them positive, others negative. This analysis should precede any decision regarding the implementation of DRS. It is widely recognized that for most DRS models across Europe, public and robust data is not available in some areas, except from return rates. DRS as monopolistic business model with private shareholders that uses citizens' money as a primary revenue source should be publicly transparent. In this slide, you can see the important financial correlation of DRS, the direct correlation between the increase of producer's fee, the red line, and the increase of packaging return rate. The producer's fee, the red line, is calculated considering the value of retail handling fee, the gray line, the transportation and logistic cost, the yellow line, the sales of material, the green line, and the unredeemed deposit, the blue line. It is easy to observe that as the return rate increases, the producer's fees increase exponentially. In the first 3-4 years after DRS implementation, the producer's fee will increase exponentially every year due to high reduction of unredeemed deposit. One of the most important revenue stream in a DRS is the unredeemed deposit, the consumer's money. This slide should help us to dismantle the myth that in the first years producers do not pay money for DRS functionality. For a better understanding of financial correlation, I'm using the current data related to different and recent DRS. Romania, which will be implemented in 2023, and Slovakia, which was implemented in 2022. You can see the nominal evolution of producer's fee in relation with the packaging return rate. In Romania, the producers and importers will pay a producer's fee from day one for an obliged target of 65% return rate. In 2024, producer fee will increase exponentially. By example, the producer fee for plastic will increase in 2024 between 60 to 101%. And these are the producer's fee for the first year for a return rate of 65%. Substantial cost increase will follow. For comparing the efficiency of the model, you can see the producer's fee calculated per cost as equivalent euro per ton of packaging. Why it's really worrying is the eco-modulation in Slovakia based on national EAN code versus international EAN code. So producer having international pay up to 30% more producer's fee to the DRS. Such situation will generate challenges in the good functioning of the EU internal market. Regarding the retail handling fee, you can see major differences that could generate a series of unpredictable and discretionary behavior in the relation with some of the retailers. Such practices related to establishment of the producer's fee and retail handling fee require full transparency of all costs and revenues of the DRS. On top of cost consideration, from the very beginning, two questions arise. What happened with the unredeemed deposit? What happened with the unreturned packaging belongs to DRS? In the case of 1 ton of unredeemed DRS PET, which is represent 47,619 bottles of PET, such situation will generate a revenue for DRS and respectively a cost for PRO. The revenue generated to DRS is in quantum of 4,761 euro. The cost for PRO and local sanitation, local authorities should be calculated. This is why I mentioned that some stakeholders will be impacted directly or indirectly, and quantitative and qualitative studies, also feasibility studies, are necessary before any political decision. As a conclusion, the first conclusion that came in my mind is that when we refer to DRS, we must be aware that there is a huge difference between assumption and theory versus realities of implementing a model of such complexity and magnitude. The DRS for one-way packaging doesn't solve the problem of municipal waste. The DRS will affect the collection rate only for some one-way beverage packaging. When assuming a collection rate of DRS about 90%, this waste corresponds to a maximum 8% of the total municipal waste collected. Considering the monopoly situation of a DRS and its impact, any decision regarding DRS should be always made in a public way to all impacted stakeholders. DRS for one-way beverage requires enormous investment and highly monthly operational cost. DRS doesn't finance itself. The producer will financially support DRS from the first day of its operation. The performance and efficiency of DRS depends on its entire configuration, not only in having RVM in supermarkets in large cities. The introduction of DRS for one-way packaging should respect EPR principles and provide equal treatment to all entities placing packaging on the market. My final remark is based on the my professional experience, recent DRS experience, and future EU perspective. The proposed regulation for packaging and packaging waste focused on packaging prevention, waste reduction, reusability, labeling and recyclability standardization, reduction of administrative difficulties for member states and companies, and non-discrimination between products manufactured in EU or imported products. So in this set of circumstances, is the DRS for one-way beverage packaging fitting in such future EU perspective? To create an efficient and an effective packaging waste management in a logical way, 3 steps should be followed. Analyzing the existing packaging waste management and building future scenarios considering the targeted objectives. Improving the current performing packaging recovery organization and creating a correct level playing field and full transparency of costs. And last, analyze the DRS introduction in a transparent manner based on feasibility study and considering all environmental, economic, and social aspects, but also future legal EU requirements. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a successful meeting, and I'm sure you will take the right decision for Slovenia. Have a nice day.